Everyone, today we're going to talk about the Previ Color Gram. It is our automated gram stainer that we use here, and it is to help make gram staining more standardized and also to be more efficient in regard to waste and time. So in here you'll see that there is top to the carousel and then the carousel. All right, there are the nozzles that are for each of the components of the stain. So when you put the carousel in, the stains and the distilled water and the decolorizer, which is the ethyl alcohol, are going to be squirted out onto the slides that are in the carousel. And each of these buttons here is going along the tubing to that actual part of the gram stain. So we have the first part, the first part here, which is the crystal violets, the primary stain. Don't ask me why it's C. I'm not the maker of this. So that we have the primary stain, which goes into the cell wall, and then it would squirt the distilled water to rinse it off. Then we have the Mordant, which is the Gram's iodine, which helps to seat the primary stain into the gram-positive thick peptidoglycan layer of the bacteria. Then we have distilled water again to rinse that off. Then we have the decolorizer that comes in, and if the which is ethyl alcohol, it comes into any of the gram-negative cell walls, and since there isn't so much of a peptidoglycan layer and there's so many pores in the cell wall, the Mordant didn't really help the primary stain. So the decolorizer pulls out the primary stain through all those pores in the cell wall, and then the secondary stain, which is the gram safranin, comes in and gets seated in there, and that's why gram negative is red, whereas gram positive is purple. Okay, so now we know how this is set up. When you put your, when you put your slide in, you want to take the labeled part of the slide and the specimen part of the slide and face it away from the back that holds the slide in. You could do it one of two ways. You could do it this way. You could also make it so that instead the label is this way. Okay, so you have to be aware of what side the specimen is on, because when you balance this, because it's just like a regular centrifuge, you have to make sure that the other one is facing that same way too. So you have to make sure that they're all facing in the same direction around. Okay, so counterclockwise or clockwise, but it's actually clockwise because of where the background is. Okay, so our top doesn't really stay on too well, so you need to put this in first, the carousel in first, and notice how all of these are angled so that they're going to come and spray the specimen on the slide. Okay, so now I'm going to put the top part on. You have to get it on the 3 prongs here. Press the button down in the middle, and now it's not wobbly. Okay, we're going to close the lid. All right, and now it says decolorizer 3, which is fine, don't worry about that. But it says full carousel, but we don't have a full carousel. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit the 2 button because we only have 2 slides. You should always have an even number, and those are demarcated. How many slides you have are demarcated here on these different buttons, but you should always have a balanced number, so it should be even numbers. Okay, now I'm going to press run, and the cycle is going to be running. Notice the red light. Green light means it's on, red light means it's running. Okay, so now it's sizing everything. So it's saying, okay, crystal violet's going to go first, just like we talked about. So that's the primary stain. This percentage tells you how done or how complete the cycle is. So now we're doing the wash. The wash is the next step. Notice the line moving on the distilled water. Okay. So it's washing it. Now we're doing iodine, which is the mordant right here. So that's going to, clamp the it's going to clamp the primary stain into the peptidoglycan layer. And notice that this percentage is not for a percentage done of each step, it's for the entire cycle. Okay, now we're washing again. In between each step is a wash. So when you do the manual testing, you're doing all of this by hand, slide by slide. This is doing it all together. And see how fast it already is? It's so amazing. It's wonderful. Okay, now we're doing the decolorizer, and we're halfway done with this whole cycle. If you were doing the decolorizer manually, you would be spraying above the specimen on the slide at an angle and letting it fall down. You never spray directly on the specimen. Okay, so after the decolorizer, what happens? Can anybody remember? That's right, you guessed it, it's the wash. The wash is going to come, wash away all that. Every time, between every single step, you're going to have that wash step so that you don't have any residual primary stain or decolorizer or whatever, because you want to make the surface area as ready as possible for the for the step that you're doing. So this even dries the it even dries the slides, which is great because you don't have to worry about so much blotting on the bibulus paper. Okay, so we're about to be done here, and it's going to beep. Okay, cycle is complete. There was a beep and the latch was released. And so now we can pull them out. Again, our top doesn't stay on, so we have to get them out separately. Okay, so if we look at the slide, sorry, not on the camera. The slide you can see has stain where there will be cells there, and we can look at those under the microscope. You can tell it's still a little tiny bit wet, so you can definitely still blot it on the bibulus paper, but there you go. That's the whole thing. Okay, so knowing what we know, if we're looking at this and we see that it looks kind of reddish, what should we expect? Should we expect gram-positive or gram-negative? Do you remember? All right, you're right. It would be gram-negative, hopefully. I don't remember what I have on this. So there it is, and thank you so much for watching.